there it goes.
But it's true. I think we all have that in us. And I am an extraordinarily competitive person. We have so many similarities. I come from a big family. My big family is very competitive. We're literally not allowed to play Scrabble in my house because of fights that break out. My mother's like, you're not allowed. And because of that competitiveness, I'm really hard on myself. And I'm the youngest of 6, so I've sort of been the bottom of that competitiveness, and so you're always pushing harder. That thing makes you intense, and it makes you really, really sort of OCD and hard on yourself. Part of what I tried to do was let it be okay to mess up and give myself permission and think, how would I treat somebody else? Why could I treat other people better than I could treat myself? Because I could fight for anybody who worked for me. I could gladiate for anybody at work and tell anybody off and for anybody else. I could treat anybody else wonderfully. But when it came to myself, I let people treat me like crap, and I treated myself that way. And it felt like I respected myself far less than I respected everybody else. And so I just tried to respect myself.
Easier said than done. How do you begin to, quote, respect yourself?
A little bit of it was the self-care. The more you say yes and the more you realize that you're succeeding and that you're overcoming something, the better you feel, the more powerful you feel, the more successful you feel, and the better you feel about yourself, honestly. When I conquered being afraid of public speaking, I started to feel like, oh, I'm good at that. Okay, well, it works. You start to feel like you're in control as opposed to feeling like it's just set that you're a loser or something.
I think it was interesting, in the book, Shonda writes about the concept of power, being comfortable with your own power, your own light, with somebody complimenting you, and how very much so women, when they're said, oh, you're fantastic, you're a great mom, you're a great worker, you go, no, I'm a part of a team, don't worry about it, and, no, and you write a lot about that, about stepping into saying, it's okay, yeah, I did that, and that's an okay thing. In fact, that's what, you say, we spend a lot of money on therapy or others telling us that that's okay, and yet when it comes our way, we deny it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we say, oh, it wasn't me, because we think that people will think that we like ourselves or that we're into ourselves or that we think we're so great. And we do. We hire people to help us think that we like ourselves and that we're into ourselves and that we're so great. We spend money on that. And for me, I watch it happen all the time, and people would compliment me and say, I love your shows, and I'd be like, oh, I'm just so lucky, and it's everybody else. And it is everybody else, but it's also me. And why is it hard to say that? And I started to really think about, like, Serena Williams doesn't worry that we're all going to think that she's too into herself if she says, I'm the best tennis player in the world, because she's Serena Williams. And the reason why is because in order to be Serena Williams, in order to compete at that level, she has to believe that she's the best tennis player in the world. And so you have to give yourself permission to want to be that person and to allow yourself to go there. And when other people are complimenting you, I came to this idea that you're insulting the person who's giving you the compliment when you deny their compliment. They don't have to give you the compliment. They've gone out of their way to say something kind to you. And then you've basically said, you're wrong. You're not smart. You're an idiot. And that's unkind. You're insulting them.
One of the other areas that I think will resonate so much is where we are unkind to one another is when it comes to motherhood.
Yeah.
And you write a lot about this, about the, quote, mommy wars, who's the better mommy, who's baking the most, who's at the school the most, who's better. And that you tell a really good story, I think, where a woman said to you when you were about to have your first child, and they said, are you getting a baby nurse for that child? And you're like, I don't need a nurse. Like, what are you talking about? I don't need any help. I got this. And how you shamed that woman.
Yeah.
And she never spoke to you again. And then you went and hired somebody to help you immediately. That you really want this kind of thing we do to each other when it comes to how we're mothering, or how we're taking care of our communities, even if you're not a biological mother, even if you don't have children, you mother. And that we're so competitive that way, and how destructive it is to other women.
Yeah, I mean, we're all on the same side of the same army. You know, the kids are over there, we're over here. It feels like we spend our time judging each other and who's done something wrong and who's not doing it well. And I think that's because we're all afraid that we're not doing it well. And the reality of it is nobody knows what they're doing. There is no handbook, there is no manual. Our parents didn't have one either. But we're all here and we turned out fine, so I don't know why we think that there are rules now. And it really feels sad to me that we tell other women, how dare you have help, or how dare you stay home, or how dare you bring baked goods, or how dare you bring the baked goods from the store. It really feels like you're setting people apart from one another, as opposed to saying, it doesn't matter how you do it, we're all doing the same thing and we're all doing it as well as we can. Like, the judging is useless.
You said that you were talking to your sister and you said, well, you know, I can't do all these things and everything because I'm a single mom. And your sister was like, I mean, are you going to pull that card?
Yeah.
That you're maybe a, quote, single mom in, quote, reality, but culturally and everywhere else, you are not.
Yeah, she sort of raised her eyebrow at me, and I instantly felt shame. It's an excuse I pull on my family a lot. I'm a single mom. And I'm not a single mom by any real definition of the word. I'm not struggling to put food on anybody's table. I'm not, working, overtime to make sure that my kids have what they need. I haven't been left financially in a place in which I've really got to have another income, and I'm doing my best to make ends meet. And it's very shameful to sort of suggest I am, but I like to lie. So I put that in there.
And she has a lot in there about the woman named Jenny McCarthy who helps her, which I think is a really great shout out.